Howdy. Okay. There you are. There's two of
Yeah,
you.
I have no idea what happened.
Well, if you don't have any idea, I don't have any idea.
I mean, that is literally the first time Zoom has ever crashed on me.
Oh, well, I guess that's good or bad. So what's going on?
Yeah, not a lot. I downloaded Mint 22 today and install that on one of these little Evos just to play with for a bit.
Yeah.
There's already 4 updates for it.
Well, I the uh the beta, I had it installed and there are a bunch of updates. So, I mean, I would expect there to be some updates. It's new and not everybody's been able to test it.
Yep.
So I know it's uh I know it's in the stable, but it still isn't. Oh, they changed the website. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I meant. It officially came out.
Well, it there was an announcement last night, the night
Mhm.
before, that it was in the stable branch, but the website still said 21.3. So, and
Yeah, they were waiting for the mirrors to get everything synchronized.
oh, okay, that makes sense. I went to one of the mirrors and just downloaded it from there, but that is good. I was quite happy with the beta. The beta seemed to work pretty well. I I've got 6.8 kernel running on the laptop that I'm on right now, and
Nice.
6.8 running on this desktop, and I'm still running 20.3 on this other desktop, so I need to upgrade that thing.
The machine that I just used, this little Intel Nook, it's ancient, but I'm still running 515 on it. But on all the laptops, I'm running 6 dot something.
Yeah. My little laptop behind me, the little netbook
Mhm.
I use for to do the OP25 decode for the scanner.
Mhm.
I upgraded it from Linux Mint, what is it, LMD E5 to 6
Mhm.
overnight, and it failed. And I was like, "Oh, you're kidding me!" And amazingly, I was able to SSH into it and fix the problem.
Nice.
I was like, okay. One of the updates, one of the updates didn't download correctly, and I it caused it to stop X. X just stopped working.
Nice. You
Yeah.
could probably have restarted it manually. Start X is the
Well,
command.
what had happened is I got part of the X desktop, but I didn't get any icons. I didn't get any of the you know, any of the panels or anything. Nothing showed up, and I'm like, and I sat there and I waited and I waited. I was late because I was like, oh, maybe it's just going to take its time to finish doing whatever it's doing. I waited for like an hour and a half and I'm like, no. So I SSH'd in and I looked at the logs and I'm like, oh, it failed. Okay, I can fix this. So I had to run whatever that is, the dpackage auto config or whatever, and force it to download the package that it didn't download and run all that. Then there then there were like 600 packages that it needed to continue to update, which
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay. It must have failed very early in its thing because it only told me there were like 700 packages or something to update. But
That's still a pretty major update all at
yeah,
once.
yeah, but it apparently overnight or whatever it failed pretty early, so it sat there and not did anything. And then OP25 stopped working because, well, I ended up installing Pulse Audio, um, and that caused it to start working again. But apparently they had switched to a different audio provider or whatever, and
Yeah. Pipe wire.
yeah, and OP25 just did not like it.
Hmm.
So I switched back to Pulse, which I don't care. I just want to hear the scanner. I'm not even sure that I really needed to update that machine because all I use it for is the scanner.
Yeah.
So it probably could have set for years and just done scanner stuff, and I wouldn't have cared. So, but but yes, I have been busy updating stuff and doing stuff, and I'm on the laptop. I'm using the laptop. So I was hoping that the new kernel would fix the webcam in the good machine, and it didn't. So that just convinces me more that the webcam is toast.
Yeah. It's fixable.
Yeah, it's kind of ticks me off. What I'm going to what I'm going to do is my dad never uses his webcam, so I'm going to he's got the exact same machine I've got. So I'm going to convince him to let me switch webcams. Get take his
Hmm.
out and put it in mine, and because there would be a hole in the spot, I'll put the bad one back in his. So because like I said, he never uses it.
I think I'd swap them. And if it fixes it, just order another one. How much are they? $10? 20?
Uh, I thought when I found one that was like $70.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only partially considering that just because I know Dad doesn't use it. It's not even I he didn't even know it had a webcam. I went over to his house, um, got him back on the internet, was looking to make sure everything was working the way it was supposed to. He said, I didn't even know it had a webcam. Okay.
I got my mom a computer, one of the little Dell micro form factors. It's like, it doesn't have a webcam, does it? because I don't want a webcam.
I don't want a webcam.
No, Mom, it can't spy on you. Uh,
Yeah, the the laptop I'm on, well, actually I think all the laptops I've got, um the webcam that's in them doesn't have any kind of privacy cover or anything,
mhm,
but all the desktops do. So, and I usually leave the privacy cover on unless
yeah.
I'm using it. So,
Uh, my work laptop has a little slidey screen that not just covers it, but has a switch on it, so it physically disconnects from the bus. Thought that was kind of neat.
see, that's what I thought maybe the Dell had done because
Mhm.
you know it actually pops down and it's an actual thing that feels like it's got switches on it and everything. And no, that it's not a switch. There's when I opened it up, I was like, oh, it's just spring. It's just a spring loaded deal that doesn't do that because that's what I had kind of a figure or kind of thought was okay, maybe the stupid switch has disconnected it and even popping it up, the switch is still pressed.
Yeah.
Like the switch has gone bad, but nope. I was most uh I was kind of saddened by that because I was kind of like, oh, that would have been so simple. Just take the switch out. I don't care. But yeah, even the now these are all just like covers. That's all they do.
Yeah.
So they do have, I mean, there are lights on the camera so you can see if it's working or whatever. But the laptops, all my laptops are old laptops, so I guess nobody cared about privacy back then, back when these
I've
things were made.
I've got two Dell Latitude 70 somethings. I don't know, 90 something. I don't, they're eighth gen i7s. I think the newest thing I've got with the processor is probably these pieces of garbage. These little, I covered up the logos on them. I forget what they are. Maestro Evolve 3s, and they're absolute garbage Celerons, but they really do what I want well. I use
Yeah.
them as a terminal, and that's about it.
Well, I don't know if you can see it. That's just a little old netbook.
Yeah.
Single core.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's old. It might be a dual core. It might be a dual core.
is it
But
an Atom processor or something?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's got it's got one of those weird little physical spinny drives in it.
Oh, the 1.6 inch or
Oh,
something.
yeah, the those little pieces of garbage drives.
Yeah.
And I mean it is slow. It's got a gig of RAM that's onboard soldered to it. You can't even replace it if you wanted to. I think it's actually built into the processor, but it serves its purpose. It does what it's supposed to do. But I think I'm pushing it with uh Linux Mint D6. I think I probably should have left it alone. I think I but it kept popping up and telling me this product's going to be end of life. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. Stop
It's
telling
the
me
same
this.
drive they used in one of the iPods, I think.
Yeah, no stupid little things. They're junk and they're expensive. I had I I had one of these go bad on me, and I ended up booting it off of a USB stick because
Mhm.
because the drive was just insanely priced for like whatever it was, 256 gig or whatever it was. It was like $80 or something for one of those things.
There was a flash version of that drive, and you could get them pretty good sized. I'm trying to find it now.
Yeah, there was. I remember those. This one doesn't have that though. This one has a one of the physical spinny thingies. But I remember that laptop or that netbook, I got it brand new and it cost $50. So, it's kind of probably for its day back in the day, it's probably very similar to that little netbook that you got. I know you didn't spend very much on those. Those,
$30
yeah,
in box.
yeah. Uh, So mine was brand spanking new for $50, and it, it it was a horror even for the time. It was a horrible computer, but it was $50. This one was running Windows XP, I believe, and it was running the full version of Windows XP Home. And I had the its little brother. I had got a hold of another one, and it was a little bit smaller. It was a little bit different model. It was running some weird Linux version. It was some sort of weird fast boot thing that you basically had a web browser and an email client and a picture viewer. And I think that was it. That was all that was on it. And that one did have the flash storage, and it was fast. It
Mhm.
it it was, but it was like 4 gig flash storage, and I think it was. I still want to say it was a single core machine, but it was relatively quick, and it was really what you would when you hear the word netbook. It was really what you would think because it was pretty much all you could do was get on the net with it.
Does that have a CF card in it?
SD card. There is an SD card reader.
Okay. The CF was a little bit bigger. It looked like PCMCIA, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah, no, this one doesn't
Um,
have that. I think that's kind of what the drive was, though. It was about the size of the CF card.
so there are 50 pin 1.8-inch drives and 40 pin 1-inch drives. The 1-inch was technically a IBM thing, a micro drive.
Micro drive. That's
Um,
what's in these.
huh, yeah, that would be pretty slow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, good Lord. And there's a 1.3 inch nicknamed Kitty Hawk. That was launched in June of 92 by Hewlett Packard. 20 and then later 40 megabytes.
woo. Yeah, see, I want to say this one's bigger than that. I I don't remember.
So
I
the
don't remember.
IBM was released with a capacity from 170 megs up to 16 gigs,
Yep.
discontinued in 2012, had a lifetime 4 years.
Yeah, maybe this one's got the 16 gigs. I remember it was decent enough to be usable, but it wasn't a whole lot of storage. 1 gig micro drive, $45. What?
Oh, and then Toshiba needed to show they've got bigger dicks. They made a 0.85-inch drive.
Of course they did.
Samsung did a 30 gig.
Maybe
And yeah, iPod mini first gen used a micro drive, 4 gig.
I want to say this was a decent sized drive.
This says that micro drive and compact flash are the same size and compatible with each other, or often compatible. If that's the case, I've got a couple of CF cards somewhere.
I've got I've got some CF cards somewhere. I don't think they're any significant size, but
Well, I've had complete usable Linux installs in 50 megs. I mean, that's with a browser and everything.
okay,
Ain't gonna run Chromium, but
this says that it is 120 gig.
really, that's pretty good
Yes.
sized.
It's not bad. Oh, it's got bad sectors though. It's getting right. It's got 45 bad sectors. It's old. She's dying.
Are you sure it's 120 gigs?
That's what it says.
Then I don't think that's a micro drive.
Yeah, I'm starting to question maybe it was the other one that had the micro drive in it.
The only
It's
one I remember that had a micro drive was that triple EPC thing,
yes, yeah, yep. That's that was what the other one was a triple EPC.
and they were like 3 or 4 gigs.
Yeah, small, tiny,
Slow.
and they were smaller. They were physically smaller than this thing too.
With an absolutely abominable trackpad. Just awful.
Yeah, I think I've confused the two because this looks like it's a Seagate. Maybe. Maybe it's a Seagate. I would have to look up the model number again. It's definitely nothing. It's nothing to write home about, but not it's not small.
Yeah.
And it's good enough to do what I want it to do.
So I've been trying to learn Python. I've been going through the Paul McWhorter Pico classes thing. And I finally realized what it is that I hate about everybody that does Python. We're going to start at nothing. So all you do is you import all of this stuff and then you use the method.append to, okay, how do you know what the things are that you can do after a period? Go back some, because I'm up to like lesson 25. He still hasn't explained that. I figured it out, but it's surprising how difficult it is to find out how to get the documentation on Python.
Yep. What one of the robots that I've got, it's got a well, several of the robots I've got have Raspberry Pis, and of course they want to be programmed in Python,
Mhm.
um, for whatever reason. One of them actually has like a fairly decent tutorial on board that you can run through and you know you make some changes to the program and whatever, but they never ever have explained the import. You know,
Mhm.
what files can I import to make it do something? Yes, I know I need the drive dot whatever and I need this because it's a robot, but you know, OpenCV because it's got the camera on board. What
Mhm.
files do I need to make OpenCV work? I have no idea. So I just going to copy what you guys are doing
Yep.
because nobody has ever explained how that actually works. And then they have a hard time. Um, they've got some decent examples, but when you make a change and it actually breaks the program, they can't explain what you did to break the program. And that's,
Well, you didn't do, they did. Somebody changed the library and
yeah.
changed one of those methods.
So Python drives me nuts. It, and the whole spaces versus tabs.
Yeah.
Start off with spaces, end up with tabs, and then the computer gets confused because you've changed. Python, I don't particularly like Python. I see why some people might like it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat. But my boss told me to learn Python, so I'm doing this at work.
Did you say, boss? We need to send me to school because I don't know nothing.
I mean, that's one of the things Siemens is good about. They do try to keep you educated. Um,
Yeah. I I would see, it was many years ago, but I went to a industrial trade show and Siemens and they were all there. I can't remember what the other company was, but I'm not really, you know, in the industry. I wasn't really working in the industry at the time, and they were giving like free classes, and I'm like, sure. And I
yeah,
signed up and I went and learned all kinds of stuff about Siemens PLCs because why not?
why not?
Big boxes of training. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff and it was, you know, a couple hours worth of do this and do this. And I had I had some general background knowledge of PLCs, so I wasn't completely lost, but they started off at the basics and said, okay, this is what you guys are probably used to out in the field. This is our new stuff. We're going to teach you the new stuff.
Yep. Yeah, they put a good bit of money into doing customer education.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish they
Well,
put that much money into doing employee education
well,
because it's
they
all just, oh, go watch YouTube.
they they uh they want the customers to spend the money. They want that trade show was obviously, we want you to get rid of these old PLCs and get the new micro PLCs that do the same thing as these, but better. And better is a relative term.
Yeah,
But
how
I,
newer and better we're in theory going to be moving the the Siemens office where I'm at in 2 or 3 years. Our lease is up in 2 years, but there's no way we can move the DC in 2 years. So some other time. But they've told people to start cleaning out their cubes. And where you put all your junk is basically right outside my door. So I go out and there's all these carts loaded with documentation and old PCs. There is a 1988 Dell G200 Pentium 2 sitting out there right now that that was my first actual real computer. And I so badly want to pick that thing up. I used to run Red Hat Linux, what, 4, 4.1, 4.2, something like that on it. And it was the first thing that I ever got Red Hat to just install on, and everything worked. I had a Cirrus Logic video card and a decent Aw32 sound card. Um, I don't remember. Oh, I had a Hauppauge TV tuner.
yeah,
Everything just worked.
nice.
I It was amazing because when I got it, it had Windows 3.1 on it, and it took hours to get everything to work. And if you wanted to play some games, you'd have to move your config sys around and restart. And I never had to do that shit with Red Hat.
Yeah.
I that's why I run Red Hat or any Linux, just because it just works.
I my first, I had tried a few other versions of Linux, but the first version of Linux I actually ever got to work was Ubuntu 04. The very first version of Ubuntu.
Oh
11
yeah.
1104,
No,
904,
no,
804,
804.
804. That thing, I installed it on, I don't know, it probably was a Pentium 2. Might have been a Pentium 3, but I installed it, put the live CD in, and it just worked. And I was like, okay, I found my new operating system.
Yep.
So I was so sick of Microsoft and all their Microsoftness. I mean,
Yeah. Found a couple other things that brought back memories. Borland Turbo C, Turbo
ooh,
Pascal,
ooh,
and uh, Visual Basic 3.
nice. Actually,
Well, not
Visual,
that last one.
I, I actually didn't mind Visual Basic so much that uh it was one of the first visual programming languages that I learned how to use. But I loved Turbo Basic and Turbo C. Turbo C was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I never used Turbo Pascal. Never got into Pascal.
this is Delphi, Delphi. It was big in its time. Um, it's a complete opened box, but it's complete. The CD's in there. It's for Windows 2000 or 98, or NT4, I guess. Um, and I looked it up. That's a $1,800 box of paper.
Wow. What
I'll
are
never use it. I just have it in my cube so I can throw it away later.
what are they planning on doing with all that stuff? It's
Oh,
just
it's going to be trashed.
some of that's sad.
Yeah. That Dell G G2 G200. I'm not sure, but the white plastic case that opened up sideways and had
Mm-hmm.
a big X on it. It's got a double speed CD writer, a zip drive, just the 100 meg, not the 100 250,
Yeah.
um, and a QIC tape drive. It's hilarious. It was probably running 3 weeks ago.
It was probably still being used. Yeah. I I got rid of all my zip drives a long time ago. I kind of miss them, but not really.
Yeah, 100 megs, slow.
Parallel port. Nothing
Yeah.
has parallel port anymore.
Well, I had a SCSI one because when
Yeah.
I first got into computers, the ex-wife wanted a Macintosh,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the SCSI port by default.
Right.
She got the Mac Performa GS, I think it was. Slowest Mac ever made. It was awful. 30 megabyte SCSI drive, and that zip drive at 100 megs was an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, the see, I had my first IBM compatible computer was an 8088 machine.
oh, that's been a while.
20 meg hard drive.
Really?
Yeah.
So Hayes smart card or something in there?
It, it was a laptop, so it had
Ah,
I don't know what it had in it, but it did have the parallel port. So and it was the extended parallel port, which was the enhanced parallel port or whatever they called that stupid thing. But I had an external zip drive, and I mean 100 megs was like a huge improvement over 20 meg hard drive. I could I that one disk was more than double my storage capacity. I had that drive so full, and I had compressed it because it was getting to the point that it was too full. And I ran desk view on it because I liked the multitaskability of it, and it had a blue and white plasma screen. So
sweet.
Windows Windows 3.1 would run on it, but it did not run very well. But desk view was awesome.
Yeah.
Desk view, but
There was another one aside from Desk View. Um, it came stock on some of the Packard Bells. Trying to remember what that was. It started out, you were in a living room, and it had a
oh
bookshelf, and it had I don't remember what
That
all
that was an overlay for Windows 3.1.
was it. Okay.
Yeah, Windows 3.1 was actually running behind it.
I didn't have it. That one belonged to a friend, and I was jealous
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it was HP that
at the
that did
time.
that.
I
And
had one of the At the time I had one of the compact portables with the fold down keyboard
mhm.
and Osborne, not the executive. I was waiting for that to come out. The Osborne one, I guess. It was the same thing. It was a luggable with fold down keyboard, but the Osborne had like an 8-inch screen and the compact only had a 6.5. And they were both so crappy.
Well,
Honestly, though, that CPM machine, it was it was okay. You could hook a serial terminal up to it, have somebody else log in and run separate software for each user. It was kind of neat.
yeah. I had, I think it was an E machine that
Oh, I'm sorry.
it was one of the all-in-ones
Yep.
with the big the 15-inch CRT monitor and heaviest machine I've ever owned in my life. But the previous owner had an HP, and they had that weird desktop thing that you're talking about, and they liked it and they installed it on this e-machine. So I'm familiar with what that is. And I kind of was like, uh, okay, it's neat, but if you knew how to get around it, it was just Windows 3.1 with like a neat overlay. Maybe it was 3.11.
One of the companies I worked for wanted to get all new machines. And my boss at the time's like, oh, that's no problem. So he ordered these.
Oh, yes, I remember those.
Those were so bad. AMD processors, just awful. They were slow. They didn't have networking, so we had to install network cards in them. Just
Oh,
garbage machines. And they were like this price new.
yeah.
Well, no, they weren't. They were about $600, I think. They were, and he bought like 30 of these things all at once.
Those
Sight
those
unseen.
those were those the ones that E-Machine uh you got AOL with them or something and they would give you a price break on them?
Yeah, I think so. We
Yeah.
wiped them immediately and reloaded 98. We stole so much software at that company. That that company, that was the printing company. I published a CD that had Terraterm on it, Windows 95, Office 97, um, with Outlook. It had, oh shoot, a couple of cracked versions of software. It had a mail client called Foxfire that was a floppy disk image. The salesman would actually carry a 3.5-inch floppy around with them that was their account. And if they were at a hotel or something that had a
Hmm.
computer, they could just boot off of it. It was a booting floppy disk with an email client on it, like Juno almost,
Yeah.
with their credentials saved. And we were doing everything through IMAP, so it worked. It was hilarious.
Hmm.
Um, if that company had ever been investigated, it would have, I mean, we had 800, well, now I was responsible for 800 employees. We
Wow.
had a total of about 1,700 with three admins. I was over basically the East Coast. We had an admin in Phoenix and one in St. Louis. And the guy in St. Louis had the Chicago office and South Bend, Indiana, something else, a couple others. But basically, I had 800 employees that I was responsible for. And I'm the one that created that CD, and I was shipping it out to the offices and walking them through reloading 98 over Windows 3.1 and backing up their files and stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
and I
Back,
still think Office 97 was the peak of Office. It was pretty darn small. It did everything you needed. It had decent dictionaries.
yep.
It had wizards to do the things that weren't obvious. And ever since, all they've done is add wizards and ribbons and crap and made it so much bigger and so little easier to use.
I was, when we had the shop, I was installing Office 97 on most of those machines because same way. I mean, it was just Office.
Yeah.
It didn't need to do anything but Office. And then,
And it didn't check in to see if it needed an update that would cripple it.
yeah, and it didn't care how many times you use the stupid key.
Oh, Microsoft published that you could use 0000 or 123456 or basically anything you typed in there was a key.
Was okay.
Yep.
It would all work. Yeah. I I was putting Office 97 on most of those machines, and then it wasn't LibreOffice. It was OpenOffice back then. I got
Sun
I
Star Office.
I never used Star Office. It was
Uh,
OpenOffice. I I started using OpenOffice with Ubuntu, and I was like, okay, just to be a little less shady, we'll put that on machines.
yep. I so oh wow, this is going back. The first the first Office suite I used was um,
Word perfect.
from Apple. Well, no, before that, Apple's AppleWorks. That's
Apple
what it was
works.
called.
Yeah.
That was great. If you had an 80 column card, you could do mailing lists and boilerplate
I might still
printed
have
out on
Apple
your image
Works.
writer. Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually.
I've
But
I, I mean I've still got an Apple IIc in
ah,
in the closet. I might still actually have that.
probably that was nice software. Um, I was very happy with that. I went from that to SmartWorks. That was kind of a small one. It was almost like Vim, and there were a lot of keystrokes you had to
Yeah.
memorize to do anything, but it was usable once you got used to it. And that was the first thing I used on a true VGA display. It was monochrome VGA, 8 shades of gray, but it was a nice monitor. It was crisp. Um, that was on a 286, I think. Then I went to WordPerfect, used that for a long time. Um, Sun Star Office. That was $34 at Micro Center with like 5 licenses. You could install it on 5 machines and they had no idea whether it was on five or not. They didn't care.
They didn't care.
That was Larry Ellison, just angry at Microsoft, wanted to make his own stuff, and it was written in Java because it was Sun.
Yeah,
That was a nightmare. I hated Java.
still hate
Used
Java.
Word for a while, went to Open Office and LibreOffice now on everything. Let's see, even
I
on this little Windows box back here.
yeah. Well, my my dad, he he writes stuff articles for the newspaper every now and
Mhm.
then. And he got a document back from the publisher and he couldn't open it. And I looked at it and I went, "Oh, well that's a LibreOffice doc document or an
Really?
open office document or something like that." And he goes, "Okay." So I migrated him from it wasn't Word Perfect. It was the other one. It was there was Works. It was Works. It was
Oh
Microsoft
yeah.
Works. And he's never looked back. He's like, this thing is great. I really like this word processor. And I'm like, yeah, it'll do a whole lot more than what you want it to do, but or what you need it to do, but it's great free software. And yeah, I he was kind of because I had told him that he needed to export everything to Doc or DocX documents because that's probably what they were using. And nope, they sent him a an open office document or open whatever that format is, the open document format.
Yeah.
So,
This is a thing that I have seriously considered getting, but I'm amazed at what it costs.
mm,
E-ink display, it's just for typing on,
right?
um, but $500. It really has no processor. It's just, I mean, it's got 16 gigs of storage. It's designed to you type on it and then you hook it up to a computer and upload your stuff and then you do your formatting because it just saves as flat text.
Okay. And they want how much for that?
$500 for a
That
teeny tiny miniature laptop.
that's insane.
Though it's small and it's supposedly a really nice keyboard.
Oh, well, you pay for them keyboards.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can get it with like 4 different key switches. But
Well,
it
why couldn't you get something like this that's ESP32 based? It's like $100, less than $100, and hook a Bluetooth keyboard up to it and do pretty much the same thing.
probably could.
I mean,
I think this is a 7-inch display, maybe six. I don't know.
okay, this isn't quite, but you could do that with, a ebook reader,
Yeah.
a 7-inch ebook reader. I'm pretty sure I could hook a keyboard up to that
Yeah.
because it's
That's
got
the
a
Sony.
yeah, that's my old Sony.
Then yeah,
This
you can.
this one I'm pretty sure it's run Linux on the in the back end.
It is.
And that one actually has the ability this one actually has Bluetooth built into it, so
What's that one? Is that a Kobo?
that's Kobo, yeah.
Yeah. I've got one of those somewhere. I was going to get back into reading. I bought one. I can't read anymore.
I mean, that was $100.
Yep.
So, and even the color one, the color version of the Kobo is like 140. So you could do color cheaper than
Yeah.
cheaper than that laptop. Howdy, Vicente.
You have a pink Batmobile,
I have a what?
a pink, color pink Batmobile
The
up
car up on top.
the car.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
at your back. This
yeah.
is
The
pink.
I I sent you a picture of that.
I don't remember, but pink is the Barbie Batmobile. Barbies.
That is a Jada pink slip, and apparently it is extremely rare to find. I have it, so I bought it. I saw it out at Myers, I think, and
Right?
apparently it's an extremely rare Batmobile. So why it's pink, I don't know, but it is.
Yeah, it's pink. Mhm.
Barbie Batmobile.
Barbie.
The when Thea was staying with us, she wanted to open it and play with it because it's pink.
Ooh,
I said, nope, no. I didn't know it was rare until I got it home.
good grief. They're just normal stuff is 40 to
Well,
$70.
you can buy it in Amazon for 30 $30.
I got it for like 20. So I did pretty good. I didn't know it was a hard to find um
Right, but this is
a hard to find thing
yeah,
though.
okay. And what is that? Connect.
But it's called a pink slip or pink slips. And it's a whole series of cars that they've made. And the grandkid, she did actually get a pink Lamborghini because
Pink slip,
she,
1/24 scale,
mm-hmm,
$21.
$21. Yep, that's about what I paid for it.
I'm seeing the Batmobile at 3042. I see a Corvette for 22.
The Batmobile, I
And
don't know.
it's the 1966 Batmobile.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's actually going to be worth more. I just know that it's hard to find. It's
There are, in eBay also for 1990 condition new,
yeah.
191 sold.
Yeah. So some dealer somewhere has a whole bunch of them sitting on them, making them hard to find. Making them hard to find.
14 people have this item in their car. So selling. I like the what's the brand of the Cory, I don't remember.
Corgi?
Corgi is very expensive, the Corgi
Yeah.
version.
The original Corgis are really expensive. I think I think probably the most expensive Batmobile that I have bought is probably this one. I think I spent $70 on this one. It's one of the exclusive Batmobiles from you can only get it if you're a member of the Red Line Club. And I am not a member, so I'd spend extra money on it because I'm a fool.
You will like this one.
So a thing that you can obviously do
Oh.
is own a toy without opening it. I admire that, but I can't do that.
This is completely destroyed.
How much do they want for that one?
Uh, and
$10? That's not bad.
yeah, Thursday. Yeah, but it started today, I think.
Oh, you gotta watch some of those because they look old, but they're not. And Corgi uh they did a remake of those and they've got
This
the people
one
in them.
is need a little work.
That one looks like one of the old ones, but you got to be careful about spending the money on them. I uh I don't have it sitting anywhere that I could get it. The I've got a set of cars that I really want to open, but they're new and they're sealed and I just can't do it. I can't bring
Yeah.
myself to open them up. That one's a newer that's a newer corgi.
9050.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, really.
There's a it's big. I don't know how big it's big. Um one that Corgi made and that thing goes for an insane amount of money. And the most expensive one I saw was a Batmobile, a Hot Wheels Batmobile from I think it was 2015 Mexican Comic Con.
Okay.
$3,000.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of
This-
those that it better be in perfect condition and you're never going to touch it. And it is way outside of my price range for buying cars. Spending $70 on one I thought was kind of crazy. Uh, I've
I was
got
I was working in the first personal computer ever doing PWM control. Look at this. I don't know if you can see this.
okay. Oh, okay.
So you can put any value, and it change the first lead with PWM values. You can clear and put small values. You see? small, or full speed. Uh-huh.
Okay, I also appreciate your tiny little clothespin.
This is a brand. My projects use a clothespin. I developed the software in the ruler. I am using an expander, I2C expander,
Mm-hmm.
and a driver, and this is the LED number 7. But you can change the same way the value.
Mm-hmm.
This ATM, this 80 mega is running at 8 megahertz, and the 80 mega in this emulator is running at 60 megahertz, but my program runs faster in the expander than this one, because I am using direct access to the ports
Right.
instead of using Arduino digital write, digital read. I am using direct writing to the ports, and the I2C is 400 kilohertz. So finally, the LED in the expander is faster than this LED that is controlled using shift registers inside this emulator.
Hmm.
You can clear. And you can see in the scope, you can see the change of the value. Now there is a this is let me check. This is 8.
Yeah.
This is 15. One moment, 15 there. This is 15, and this is 1. You see,
Mm.
different values. And you can put 0 also to turn off. You can clear, enter. This is 0. And the sensor from Amazon with the breadboard has exactly the same height than the LED in the
Okay.
was a coincidence, but nice. So I can start. I put a video in X, Twitter, about this.
Okay. I really haven't used Twitter
Yeah.
much in the past.
No, me neither. I stopped using it for a while because
Yeah.
I don't like the content and how they manage it.
Yes. I stopped about a year and a half ago, maybe
Yeah.
2 years ago.
I
I
still have my account.
I still have my account too, but I haven't used it. I haven't even looked at it really. Remember the M5 camera?
Oh yeah.
That's one of the original M5 cameras. I've got QR. It'll natively read QR codes.
Okay.
It
So you have I2C connection or serial?
serial.
Serial.
It's coming out over the serial port, but um, I mean that's minor. That's just a small change. It's actually doing a halfway decent job, and the QR codes don't have to be very big for it to see it. So
Nice.
I was just playing around with it. I don't have a video of it or anything. I was playing around with it just to get an idea, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's fast to use in the
It
robot or something.
it doesn't seem like I was doing this a little bit slower, but I was doing this to it,
Mhm.
and it doesn't seem like the motion blur. It it seems like it can still read the QR codes most of the time, even
That's,
with motion blur,
that's good.
which that's a big thing for the robot.
Yeah.
And then that's running MQ TT broker. It's actually a really good MQTT broker. I was actually kind of surprised at just how good that was. But that's because the scanner that I'm using, the OP25, I want it to I want to be able to see the talk groups and the frequency that it's on that little display. So
Okay.
I've got to get that to send all that information over MQTT so it could display on that display. And then I could just chuck that up there and look up there and see. But that's what I've been playing with and doing a lot of upgrades. I've been upgrading my computers.
And your cameras is working, the camera in your laptop,
Um,
finally.
I'm the the one camera in my good desktop is still not working. I'm on the laptop. I'm using the laptop right now because the other computers are doing upgrades. So, um, did Ray email you guys or text you guys? He
When today? I didn't check.
couple days ago he got the metal cutter working.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see. I might it's kind of a crappy video if I've got it on this machine.
Don't stare into that light.
Let's see. Okay. Wait a second. Stop. Stop the video. And then we're going to share the tiny little video.
Ray.
That's what he sent me. Let's see if I can make it
Any
bigger.
idea what that was cutting? Looked like
Uh,
stainless.
it looked like stainless to me, but see if I can make it bigger. I don't really know. And it's sideways. So
I don't know about celluloid. I know in VLC you can rotate that.
yeah, it's all right.
We need to make a visit to Ray.
Yeah.
Let me know if you plan to go. I want to be there.
I I'm not sure. I I know he got the one machine. He's sent me that video of the one machine. So I don't know what I want him to make for me yet. We need to go play on that machine though. We need to go see what that thing can do.
Yeah.
But I know he's happy. He finally got it
Finally.
working. So
Well, several years waiting.
and a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Does he has a plan for that to make anything or
I I was under the impression that was going to be part of the showroom, and he was just going to be able to show it off, and then they could order it
okay.
from him. Because I'm fairly sure he wants to sell those things. And now that he's gone through all the hoops and loopholes of
Yeah.
getting it wired up, he can tell them what it's going to cost. It's going to be expensive.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he was planning on using it for anything other than demos though. Kind of like his other little showroom where he's got all those other machines where he could show them off.
I can use it to make sheet metal stuff. This case is metal,
Mm-hmm.
sheet metal bended, two pieces, one up and one under.
Probably could use it to cut the holes for the LEDs.
Also. But this is plastic.
Oh, that's
This is
plastic.
yeah,
Well,
this is
that's just a regular laser. That
yeah. The case is metal, but the front is
plastic.
a laser plastic. Is if you use a laser, you can remove the silver coating,
Mm-hmm.
and you will see the black plastic behind
Yeah.
of the silver.
Well, with a metal cutting laser, you could make that metal.
Mhm.
You could turn it
Yeah,
into metal.
yeah. Maybe a good idea.
I don't know. So
The original was metal. I think was painted in white or something.
yeah. Yeah. I uh I don't know. I really haven't done much around here. Just
We have in person next week. No, the other one.
no, we're still um next week was there was only like 15 minutes, and I didn't think it was worth going to the library for 15 minutes.
Nope.
So our in-person is on the 8th, and then we're back to more or less a normal schedule.
And this is the motor I am using. Look the day when I purchased. 13 years.
And you finally dug it out of the box.
And it was $7, I think. Let me see the order. What?
You bought a bunch of stuff that day.
Yeah, this one. I know 15 bucks. $13 years. I'm still working. I am using it in the elevator. Do you remember the
I remember the elevator.
Maker Faire
Yep.
elevator motor?
That's where I've seen. Okay. Yep. Um, if I believe my M5 stack email, they are either this Friday or next Friday, they are going to release a little mini quadcopter for sale based on the M5 Atom. So that might be fun to get and play with.
Those people are creating stuff every month.
They used to actually put new stuff out every week, but they've slowed way down. So I don't know if the manufacturing process is,
They are like Lego in electronics. Well,
well, I know that ever since I really started using M5 stuff, I haven't really used a whole lot of other components. I mean, everything plugs into to that Grove connector.
Mhm.
So, or the microcontrollers just have so much stuff built into them that you don't need to add a whole lot of extra stuff. But it might be fun to get a little mini quadcopter and fly it around the house. I don't know how much it's going to cost. They had one years ago. They had one, and it wasn't all that expensive, but they also didn't have it programmed. You had to figure out how to make it work. So,
well, they used to put a price to maximize the sales. Maybe they go under $100.
oh, I'm sure it's going.
Way under.
I'm sure it's going to be way under $100. Might be 30. Might be $30. But I don't know. They fooled me with the that stupid little robot that's used for those vibrating motors. Um, they released a new model of it and it was $57. And that is just way too much to pay for
Yeah.
one of those. So um Wemo Wemos um they've got a couple of new microcontrollers based on the S3 coming out in the D1 mini form factor.
Mhm.
Um, and they're $7, I think, for those. No case, no fancy stuff. You know how Wemo is with the
Yeah.
D1 mini. Um, but they're supposed to be compatible with the D1 mini shields that
Cheers.
they've
Okay.
got. So that might be all right. And I think Lily Go is coming out with some new stuff here soon too. Um, another LoRa board.
I thought that Raspberry Pi will release something like the 400, but for the Raspberry Pi 5, maybe the 500, like a mini computer integrated in the keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
but there is no news about that.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up much with what Raspberry Pi is doing, but I don't see anything on their website for it.
It looks like they slow down a little, I don't know.
Well, I don't I'm guessing that the manufacturing has slowed down completely because M5,
Hard to
they
find.
used to put stuff out all the time, and now they run out of stuff and they have to wait for new stuff to get to them.
I think that they are not selling too much of the 5 because the price went too high,
Mm-hmm.
they pass, uh, I don't know, there is a sensitive level of price, and if you pass it, you stop selling.
Yeah.
They are each time they add functionality or speed or whatever, they increase the price. People don't like that, You, you're you now are paying like 3 times the original Raspberry Pi price for the new ones.
Yeah, I kind of got like a feeling that when there was all the Raspberry Pi shortages and they saw how expensive how much people were willing to pay, they just kind of went, okay, we could charge $80 for this now.
The problem is a lot of people base their business on Raspberry Pis. And first was the problem of shortcuts or
Mm-hmm.
impossible to find. And now the price is too high, maybe for some designs or some products.
It so you could get a Raspberry Pi 4 8 gig model for $75, or you could get the Raspberry Pi 5 8 gig model for $80. So there's no real price difference between the two.
Yeah, no.
And let's see, I don't even see the 1 gig models anymore. The 2 gig model of the Raspberry Pi 4 is $45. There's the 1 gig. The 1 gig model is $35.
Okay.
But that's a Raspberry Pi 4 for $35 with only 1 gig of RAM. When you could look at some of the other single board computers and some of the other computers that are actual computers
Mhm.
and x86 based computers, and you could get them for around the same price. So I guess it depends on what you want to do, because obviously the Raspberry Pi has the GPIO. So if you want to do GPIO stuff, you need that. But if you just want to do general computing stuff, it's probably cheaper to buy a computer.
I think that would be a better idea to sell a single model of the Raspberry Pi, with some kind of plug-in expansion memories in the center on software. So you can buy the cheapest one and later you buy the memory instead of you don't buy
Well,
the 1 gig because you don't want to be in a project without memory, but you don't want to pay for 8 gig. So maybe there is a in between thing. Buy
my
your Raspberry Pi for $30 and then you pay 20 for the expansion or whatever.
yeah,
But it's the same model for everyone.
I yeah. See, I don't even see a Raspberry Pi 5 smaller than 4 gigs though, and that's $60 for a 4 gig model. I mean, that's
Micro Center used to have good prices for Raspberry Pi. Where you were looking for the
right.
price?
Micro Center.
Micro Center.
Yeah. I think they're about $5 higher than everybody else, but it's still I mean, it's $5, so and they're still okay on their price for like the Pico. The Picos are still they've gone up $1, but they're still reasonable. And the Pi Zero W is on sale right now for $8. So that's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. See, I don't I didn't buy a whole lot of Raspberry Pi 4s, mostly because they increased the price so much on them. I've only got I think I've got 3 Raspberry Pi 4s. One of them is the 400, and then I've got I think two more for Raspberry Pi 4s. But I've got a ton of Raspberry Pi 3s and Raspberry Pi 2s because they were reasonably priced.
Well, one thing I will give Micro Center, they haven't raised their price on the Pi 4 for a while. Now, this is one I bought quite a while ago,
Right?
$55.
This is the 4.
Yeah.
It's a 4B, 4 gigs of RAM. When I
Yeah.
worked at the law firm, we bought a bunch of
It's the same price now, right?
4s.
Yeah, they haven't I don't think they've raised their price. I think they're competitive with everybody else.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, spending $80 on a machine that's got 8 gigs of RAM, that's seems like a lot of money for that. But like I said, I bought a ton of Pi Zeros and uh Pi 2s and Pi 3s and not so many Pi 4s just because I thought they were too expensive. They were getting too expensive.
I was using the 02W.
I'm looking on Amazon. and they're about the same price. Well, no, they're about $5 more.
On Amazon or on at Micro Center?
Amazon, they're more expensive on Amazon than Micro Center.
Okay. See, I think they kind of flip flop back and forth between each other. So this time Amazon's a little cheaper. And if you wait a couple of weeks, it'll flip flop back the other way. I know one place not to buy them. eBay. Don't go to eBay to buy Raspberry Pis.
I don't buy much off eBay. I did for a while. I got burned a few times.
Yeah.
There are good competitor boards, but the support is pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, I've got one of those Panda Latte boards, and I really haven't used it. Um, it had some interesting features though. Yeah, Raspberry Pi, Raspberry Pi 2 or B plus. Maybe that's the original Raspberry Pi. $20. The 2014 model on eBay. A Pi Zero W, the original Zero W, $21, $24.
But the zero W is $8 in
It,
Micro
it's
Center.
it's $8. That $8 at Micro Center. It's on sale right now. They don't have any of the Zero W2s though.
No, I bought two of them 2 months ago, but I have to go twice because they only sell one per
One port customer.
customer. Yeah, yeah.
Well, when before the pandemic and everything, Micro Center was selling the Zero W for $5. I
Yeah.
would go in there every time.
For
Every
4.99. Yeah, I
every
remember.
every time I would go in there, I would walk out with a Raspberry
Yeah,
Pi
yeah.
Zero. Yeah, Amazon is $22 for a 2W. $25. Yeah, I was looking through my box of microcontrollers and other parts, and I got to the box that had the Raspberry Pis in it, and there was a layer of dust on it. That's how much I have not used Raspberry Pis. I'm like, oh, oh yeah, I remember what's in this box. Raspberry Pis. Lily Go, Lily Go Go, or Lily Go, or whatever, whoever they are. I think they're coming out with a new e-paper LoRa board, which might be interesting. Their last one was kind of expensive though.
And what about okay. And you see any difference between the new models and the old ones? They are more white or better
The,
contrast because I don't like the how they all look like nose.
I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of difference.
Faster maybe.
Yeah, they might be faster. Um,
This is two colors or you have gray levels.
this is just a grayscale.
Mhm.
And this one this one's one of the original M5 papers. Um, they're I think it's perfectly readable, but you know, it says my battery's almost dead. Huh, I guess I should charge that. Um,
Mhm.
the I think some of the newer designs have put a backlight to them now, though, so you could get a little bit of the contrast going on. Like, well, both of these Kobos have like a backlight to them,
Yeah.
so it's I probably have the no backlight's turned on that, but
You
you could
saw the new Kindle, the Kindle, you can write on it.
yep
Interesting.
could really see the backlight on this
Mhm.
on the color.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah.
I think I think the backlight helps. So if the new thing from Lily Go has a backlight, that probably would make a huge difference.
Amazon has the Kindle Paperwhite.
When I first got the Kindle or the um Kobo
COVID.
Kobo, I wasn't real sure that I would like the backlight, and then it grew on me. I was kind of was like, oh, okay, I see
Helps.
why we need this. So
What you can do with the new scribe, the script,
yeah,
Amazon.
I don't I don't have a stylus for mine, but there is a mode in there um that you can write on the screen. So this can do it. I just didn't get a I just didn't get a stylus.
It's nice to develop ideas on it. on the go. But the price is still a little bit high.
Vicente's not looking at the screen.
What? Okay. Nice.
And then you can connect a keyboard to it and you can actually type.
On it, okay.
I'm pretty sure that is a feature that it will do. Oh, I need to charge this sucker up too. I need to charge all my stuff. All my stuff is dying.
Too much backlight.
Too much backlight. But I'm really happy with these Kobos. That's the Clara 2 or something like that. It was like $100.
Okay.
And the color model is like $150. And some people are saying that the colors are a little washed out, but I think it has more to do with what you put on there than it does with how the display works. Um, I it doesn't bother me basically, and it's half the cost of any other color display. So people that complain about it should just go, yeah, but it's only half the cost, and be happy that they didn't charge you $300 for this. But I still use my old Sony too.
Can you see comics on it? The color?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Like, yeah.
So, I mean, that scan could have been a little washed out. Whoever scanned it or whatever. I don't think it's the fault of the reader. I think it's how the scans were done. And it's perfectly readable. You can zoom it in. So I got UFO comics on this. See? And that's without the backlight. So I think it's very, very reasonable and it's reasonably priced. And they're the same size. And
Yeah.
I mean if you're looking for an ebook, I would highly recommend one of these Kobos. They seem like they're good ebooks. They read all kinds of formats. They don't read the Kindle format, but they read all kinds of formats. And you can just sideload them. You can just plug it into your computer and load them up. You don't have to buy books from Kobo to use them. So you could get books from pretty much
That's a
anywhere.
good other thing, yeah.
Um, I mean, like I said, they don't read the Kindle format, but you could pretty much get any other book. Ebooks work really well. PDFs work pretty good. CBRs and CBZs for your comic books, those work pretty good. And if you're going to read comics, you want them in color because you lose something if you don't have color. So we are approaching 7 o'clock. So we are virtual next week. I know I already said that. And then maybe the following week when we're in person, we could go to lunch, dinner afterwards.
Great.
That sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anybody got anything else? Because we
I,
might.
I have a bunch of stuff that I bought lately, but I need to. I bought Pro Micros with USB connector. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay. What is it?
Pro
Oh,
Pro Micro.
the
Pro
micros.
Micro
Yeah.
Arduino.
Yeah.
Also bought some what's the STM micro, the black pill
The
and
black
stuff.
pills. Yeah.
Yeah. But I bought a new micro from STM they cost 10% of the black pill and do almost much of the stuff, but they have a very cheap one. For example, this web we act studio.
Mm-hmm.
They have pretty good boards.
Now, who is WeAct? Because that's the second time I've seen them.
They used to sell boards from mainly STM, you know.
Right.
This is a really narrow USB-C,
Uh-huh.
and you have 4 8-bit ports and 48 megahertz. It's really interesting.
One of the I don't remember who it is. One of the review sites that reviews microcontrollers and whatever. That's how I found out that Wemo was releasing a updated S3 board. But in the link, they gave a link to buy the Wemo shields from that WeAct place.
Okay.
And I didn't know who they were. I was like,
Check React in AliExpress. They
uh-huh.
have a page. They have a page, and they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of boards.
Well, I was kind of like, okay, so I should buy the shields from WeAct instead of going to Wemos because Wemos has a AliExpress store too.
Mhm.
It was kind of interesting that they put a link to not Wemos while they were reviewing a Wemos board.
I
But
bought in Amazon the photo sensor that I am using to sense the LED. I bought 10 for a box.
okay.
And they deliver overnight. So when you are designing, it's really nice just to do something, and the next day you have the stuff in your door.
And then you don't forget why you ordered it.
Exactly. But now AliExpress is delivering really, really fast, 7 days, usually,
They
really fast.
uh some of the stores on AliExpress have uh warehouses here in the States now.
Yeah. And they are using their own people, because there is a guy with a car that you only deliver AliExpress, you know?
Okay.
And usually all the AliExpress stuff sometimes comes inside a single bag, like consolidated delivery. And they inform you by mail when your items will arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Every 2 or 3 days they say, okay, it's in way for you. It will be there any day. If they deliver a day later, they give you a $1 coupon. So I already have like $10 coupon. Each time I buy something, always have a discount of a coupon discount
Yeah.
for late delivery. Late because it's a day later.
I
They are
I
working
don't
hard.
I don't think I've had the problem with late deliveries. I've gotten a couple of coupon deals from them. So,
Yeah. Sometimes I forget to confirm the delivery, and several weeks later they refund the money. They say, "Hey, no, I haven't." Okay, so they are working pretty well.
yeah.
I don't know what are they doing, but
Yeah, I like
they,
AliExpress. Um I think AliExpress was better uh before they started giving deals like
yeah.
Temu.
You remember that USPS lost my Romy robot? They called that they deliver in a wrong address, but they never solved the problem. So the status is delivery. So eBay told me that they cannot pay a refund because USPS has the delivery status. So I asked them that the delivery status is wrong, that I don't have the package. And the next day, eBay refund my money. So they are working pretty well with this system is working. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I had Now this was years ago, but I had bought something on eBay and it was a small item and it got lost somewhere between Philadelphia and here. And I got the refund and all that. And about a year later, it showed up.
okay.
And
I hope it appears somewhere. I don't know.
I was like, oh, this is interesting. So At that point, the seller was gone. He wasn't even selling anymore, so I couldn't really give him the money for it. I just got this thing, and it had looked like it had fallen behind like a sorting machine or something. It looked like something had run over it, and it
Yeah.
just, but it was in perfect shape. It was in good condition. The
This
package just looked like it.
this package of the roaming robot, I was waiting for it. I saw the when they put delivery. I was checking immediately. No,
No,
there's no delivery. So I wait for next day and still delivery, but I didn't have the package, so I lost it.
about a month ago, I went to get Patty from work, and I opened the front door, and there was a bunch of food sitting there. Somebody had ordered Walmart grocery
Okay,
delivery,
delivered to the wrong address.
and they brought it to my house, and that it was like pulling teeth to get Walmart to acknowledge that they had delivered it to the wrong place. It uh, well, you ordered that, right? No, I didn't order this. And it's food. Somebody needs to do something about this.
Yeah.
Something kind of similar. This morning, I got a call from a 800 number. Like, yeah. So I sent it to voicemail, and this is Aaron from some power company in Kentucky. So I Google the 800 number, and it is somebody's credit card had bounced. And I get a lot of spam calls on my work phone. So I called him back. I said, yeah, you called this number, but I'm not the guy you're trying to contact. And I'm just hoping you have some other way of contacting him. His number is, and I gave him my number, and she's like, well, what's your property address, sir? I'm like,
That's
my property's up here in Cincinnati. Um, that's not what I don't owe you money. I'm trying to tell you that somebody else does. And it took 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I was about to just go, you know what? Never mind. Screw you. Turn off my power.
turn it off. I don't need power. I I got a call, and for some reason the caller ID actually came up and said what the business was, like how it should actually work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pharmacy. Okay, I don't know anything. Same deal. I sent it to voicemail, and then I listened to the message, and I was like, oh, this actually sounds kind of important. So I called the pharmacy back. It wasn't quite as bad as that 20 minutes, but it was almost, are you sure she's not there? Look, I don't know who this lady is. You either hit a wrong number and called the wrong place, or you've got the wrong phone number. Either way, I'm not it. You need to try again.
Yep.
Few minutes
Yeah.
late, I hung up, and a few minutes later, she called back, and I picked it up that time, and I said, it's still me. You've got the wrong phone number. I don't know what to tell you. She said, oh, I'm sorry. We'll update our records when we figure it out. I said, okay. So somebody put the wrong phone number in to start with.
Yeah.
And they were from like Cleveland or somewhere. I mean, not even the same area code. It's like,
Nice.
yeah, but all right.
My bit of politics. I don't care who's running. I will vote for whoever promises to and follows through with making it illegal to post a bad phone number from where you're calling from.
Hmm.
I that
No
I
more
don't mind
spoof
it
calls.
as much for the ones that are actually inside the US, but when I'm getting calls that are obviously Chinese or something, and it says that it's coming from Peebles. No,
I particularly like the um international text messages that you get that say UPS is having a hard time delivering your package.
yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah. Always, every week.
Yeah. I didn't buy anything, so I don't care if they're having a hard time delivering my package or not.
Thank
So I am going to I think I'm going to order a pizza. So
oh,
you. Okay.
yeah.
Order one for me also.
All right. No, I will see we're virtual next week, but I'll see everybody next week.
Great.
And
okay.
Bye.
we will have a good
Good night.
week. I
You
hope.
too.
I hope.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.